Hello everyone, I'm a Metaslave, and welcome to Chapter 12 of my FE6 RR LTC. This chapter is going to be the conclusion of the full Recruitment Isles arc, luckily. So, in this case, I'll be waiting for Saul to show up so I can talk to him for the third and final time. The reason why I have to take the time here to do so, as opposed to a later chapter like 16, 20, or 22, is because Saul shows up much later in those, and I want to warp skip those. Karel finally promotes since I got the second Hero Crest last map. And he actually has a unique Swordmaster model, which is the same as Lloyd's from FE7, but since I don't play with animations, you'll never get to see this again. The rest is just, getting like sword rank on Zeiss wherever I can, maybe some bow rank on Diane, and getting the treasure chests. Those are important since there's the third Elysian Whip, and like just some money. So good to get those. I also have time to finally get Percival to hit level 10. Percival's on the right side, and we'll just kind of clear the enemies that are behind the 100 HP wall, as well as the enemies right outside of it. Lilina chips this fighter since Percival can't one-round it, which is perfect since I can also just use a lance instead of a sword more safely, but it doesn't really matter because Percival's weapon ranks are really bad. Milady finally promotes as well since I got the second whip. And her stats for the most part are going to be good to go for almost the rest of the game. She doesn't really level up that much since I'm not trying to grind sword rank on her, unlike Zeiss. But any additional levels on her will be nice. There's also Ray's replacement, Dorothy, who will be recruited by Cecilia, who replaced Lou. And, well, she's an archer, so she's pretty bad. She comes with a killer bow, though, so that's nice. Enemies through the wall like this are a rare case of a player's bow unit having an enemy phase, but in this case it helps out. That sniper has a silver bow, so he would do massive damage to Milady if he hit. Not that it's a huge deal since there are healers nearby, but worth pointing out. I'm trying to transport Karel at what seems like a fairly aggressive pace, but ultimately, like, by the time I actually need to be getting in position to recruit Saul, I have a lot of time to spare, which really just demonstrates the power of Double Dancer. This narrow corridor that Zeiss just ended his turn on will manage to force a hand axe, at least one of the hand axe warrior specifically, to attack him from one range, which just helps out since he does want to grind sword rank. And yeah, the sniper missed again, but it doesn't really... This time it didn't really matter, since he didn't hit her the first time. Kath will just hang back here, try to get those two chests, which are some of the least important chests on the map. I believe that's the Flux and Air Caliber. But she doesn't need to do anything else, and that Eclipse Shaman will never kill her because Eclipse has 10 hit. Astor, on the other hand, will be getting the chests on the right, which, again, are more important. The longbow archers are an annoyance, but they're more in the sense that they can be hard to counterattack, not that they're an offensive threat in any way. Lady finally hits S lances because she didn't hit A before promoting, but that was gonna happen sooner or later. That warrior has absolutely massive HP. Like, for a tangent, they're like in Chapter 20X of Ilia, there are like a bunch of warriors that break the HP cap. So, I don't know. Stupid bit of trivia that is in the game, I guess. Yeah, let's go with that. I had to use the 46 use sword instead of the 2 use one because I don't want to be at odd uses. A classic problem I run into. I don't actually remember why I keep deliberately attacking axe users with a lance here. I think it's because I wanted to try to get Percival to be lances after factoring in his promotion bonus so that he could like brave lance a wall later on. But I never actually end up doing this, so and I mean, enjoy me just like ruining what little reliability I've had throughout the run. And yes, I decide I must dedicate the second dance to killing a fighter like this, and I finally break the 2-use sword. I go up a rank. I think it's B now. Yeah, let's go with that. I could be dumb, but and yeah, I actually was kind of careless about putting Cecilia over there because she's in range of not only this longbow guy, who luckily does not double her, despite her awful speed that's being halved, but she also is in range of sleep, which I believe I had to burn a little bit to dodge. Astor continuing to slowly make his way through opening these chests. He has so much time since I'm waiting forever. I trade Percival the javelin so that he can reach this archer. And I also need to get rid of this annoying sleep guy. But since enemies have such high res, that's more annoying than I'd like it to be. Yoder, I mean, hits level 15, but at this point, his level ups are barely relevant since he capped magic ages ago. And, yeah, Diane doubles and kills this archer at still fairly good hit, just because, you know, longbow archers are weak and slow, and 20 skill and speed do that to him. Cecilia is now perfectly in range of recruiting Dorothy next turn. Not that it mattered much. So she drops Trek, who is going to help do a clumsy rescue chain later to bring Karel over to the throne once he recruits Saul. Oh yeah, I kind of neglected to mention that Saul will come with yet another chest key. That will help, because it just means I don't have to buy keys. Like, it's thanks to the leniency on this map plus Saul that I didn't have to buy a chest key earlier in the run in Chapter 7. And here's Dorothy. First chest is of course, me hovering like this, the Brave Bow, which I don't actually think sees much use in the run, unfortunately. It's nice in vanilla for, like, a fairly accurate bow that can circumvent Klein and Igren's doubling, like, kind of iffy speed, but when my only bow uses die-in, then doesn't really do much for me. Here, Personal whiffs, but for the extra weapon XP, and finally hits level 10. And Yoder earlier hit S light as well, so he never has to see combat again. He can use Aureola whenever I need him to, which obviously comes at the very end of the game. And then Kath pilfers this other chest for the Air Caliber. Air Caliber is generally a nice tome to have, so I think I do use it a little later on, by, like, another unit that joins a little later uses it for a bit. But, worst case scenario, it's actually, like, 800 gold or something, which, nothing to sneeze at. Zeiss murders a defenseless priest, and now I really, really have nothing to do now but open chests for the third Elysian Whip, which, I mentioned earlier when Tate joined that she's level 10, so she'll promote with that whenever I get the chance. And now Percival also promotes, for good stats, but terrible weapon ranks still. But he can still use killers, so I guess that's something. Not that he actually... Yeah, the killers are almost for the might than the crit. And yeah, again, cleaning up with yet another dead turn. Elfin and Lalum get their support, like C support, which kind of helps later. And it's nice that I had a chance to like actually unlock the support conversation, since, you know, normally their actions are fairly contested. Yep, nothing to do. I get to watch this shaman attack Kath to no avail, like always. So yeah, I move Karel there, since that's where Saul's gonna end his turn when he shows up. And then I don't actually put Milady the proper distance from die-in, but that doesn't matter. And I get the blue gem, which of course, you know, 5,000 gold, 5,000 gold. Finally, Saul shows up. And, yeah, as a unit himself, I probably never really mentioned this, but Saul is kind of bad in this because, I mean, he's base level 5 and has to use staves to gain EXP. So yeah, really, really very little to salvage there. But yeah, so Karel's gonna kill the boss for immediate EXP with the Worm Slayer. Might have been nice if I had crit there just to save the use, but I didn't bother going for it, so oh well. And dance for Karel so we can seize. And that is Chapter 12, completed in 8 turns. I will see you next time.